Good morning and welcome to our Friday show on the mark. And we've got a marathon, 2 race cards to get through, 9 races for each card. But you don't actually have to watch all of them now. We're going to break it up into 2 different days and try and make some money. Well, not try. We're going to make you some money on Saturday, which is tomorrow. And then on Sunday you can watch this, or Saturday night you can watch the show again and have another go on Sunday. Very interesting racing weekend ahead. Obviously, we do have the Gold Cup, the final leg, the final classic of the season, where White River's looking to make history. And then we got the ladies' race as well. Shahil, I know you're normally quite clued up as far as the international jockeys and ladies riders are concerned. So hopefully when that race comes up later on, you can give us a little bit more information about those lady riders. Right, like I said, very, very interesting weekend ahead. Let's get stuck into it. The first race, it's a 0.25. It's a 1850. And if you watched the show last week, you know that I was pretty bullish about the chances of Give Me a Swinger. He was just lost throughout the race. Baratier was out with a stick at the 600 already. Yeah, and I was a little bit worried because, as you know, I had him in my Leve-Pele place. Well, he still managed to run third. And I thought to myself, okay, well, it looks like he's looking for more distance. I didn't think he'd be back that soon, though, because remember, the race was on Sunday and we're racing Saturday. So, you know, exactly, yeah. So that's my only worry. But he's a young horse, and, you know, all over the world they run horses, they back horses up all the time. But obviously, Mauritius is a little bit different. But I think I read somewhere that he went to Florial, which is, I don't think he stayed the whole week in Port Louis, but I read somewhere that he went to Florial. So if that is the case, that's at least he's sort of got some fresh air up there. And I reckon he's a big runner, this horse, Give Me a Swinger. Like I said, he was one of my, well, twice he's been my horse to follow. And I do believe that the 1850 is going to suit him. He's got a good draw. Jenna Baratier rode him last week. He knows him quite well. I think that this horse is going to be finishing well. I think that the blinkers, he's obviously going to suit him as well. He ran a very good, it wasn't a very good race, but it was a race that sort of just proved to us that he's looking for the ground. So Give Me a Swinger. He's going to be my first choice, Shahil. I don't know what you feel about Give Me a Swinger. I don't know if you want to go somewhere else. What's your feelings about Give Me a Swinger?
No, I'm going to follow you for Give Me a Swinger. I think the 1850 will really suit him down to the ground, because last week when we were watching the race at the 600, like you're saying, Bado already had his stick on him. I think when they just quickened up a little bit at the 600, he just couldn't follow. And on an 1850, he should be able to follow. I think the 1850 will definitely suit him down to the ground. Barrier 2, Jano keeps the ride and the blinkers on, so he should be right there progressing again for the second week in a row. And then Spun Out, you know, Spun Out has been pretty consistent this season. Ramsamy probably didn't give him the best of ride last time, in my opinion. I'm happy to see Nunes back on board. He's got that little featherweight of 56 kgs. Has done some good work during the week, and he'll be doing his best work late over 1852.
Yeah, Spun Out has got quite a good relationship with Manoel Nunes. He's won on him twice. He's run a couple of places. He knows him quite well. He rides him well. That's not a bad draw in 5 either, and it's a pretty average field. And you'd think that Spun Out must have a big chance. I see he is the favourite, but I'm going to go with Give Me a Swing in front of Spun Out. If we had to go for a third choice, I would probably go with Desert Thief. He got hopelessly left last time. I don't know why, because he hasn't really got left before, not according to the comment section. He has sort of been slow away, but not last time. He lost quite a lot of ground, and he only finished a length and 3/4 lengths behind Machina. Now, there was another fancied horse in this race that ran, it was Star of Kazan, who ran just almost a length behind. So if you take into consideration that this horse got left quite badly, he's drawn 3, Star of Kazan drawn 9. I'm going to put Desert Thief in front of Kazan for that, Star of Kazan for that third place.
I'm actually going to go with number 2, Napoli. He didn't perform really well without the blinkers last time out. He's back. The blinkers now goes back on. Yes, he's got a good draw, but it's an 1850, and they've got Nishal Diho on board, who's in form. Had 2 winners or 3 winners last week.
Yeah, he's got a couple of nice rides, Nishal.
Yeah, he has actually. So he must have a chance on 1850 and down to the 0.25. Napoli is a horse that has been running in 41. Yeah. So must have a chance.
Yeah, 100%. If he can beat that draw, I suppose he must have a big chance as well, Napoli. So we'll obviously you've got to consider him if you are a pick 8 player. I don't think you have to go as wide as we normally do. Maybe the 4 horses we mentioned will probably get you through I have to be honest, I'm not a Star Kazan form fan. I think that Machino form line is pretty weak, in my opinion. I think Alhamdra second. I don't know what Machino did last week. He didn't do much, if I'm not mistaken. So that Machino form line, not very strong. I'm going to go with Give Me a Swinger and Spun Out. These two are probably the two principal runners in the first race. Hopefully that gets you through to the second race. Right, the second race is in 990. It's a benchmark 31. And, well, my first choice here, I'm going to go with Dark Force. I'm going to go against Zen Zero. And I was explaining to you in the car why. I just think that Zen Zero... his 990 form is decent, but he hasn't really beaten much. And I actually had to ask Shahil to remind me who Stone Tiger was, because for the life of me, I can't remember Stone Tiger. And he's beaten Stone Tiger. With all due respect to Stone Tiger, I just don't remember the horse. He beat League of Legends, with all due respect to your family, because I think your family's involved. That's not a great. It's not a great reference either, you know. But you know, Zenzero, you can only do as much as win, and you have to obviously respect him. But I just feel that this horse, Dark Force, has run against and beaten a lot stronger. He's got a decent draw in 5. He's quick, this horse. Mysterious Omen's obviously got a lot of pace as well, but that was over 1400. Has he got the same speed in the 990? That remains to be seen. Yeah, I'm going to go Dark Force. I've always thought that this horse is... sort of above average, and he hasn't really shown us all his ability. Remember, he is a 4-time winner. Now, if you go back to the rest of the runners here, we've had 2 other horses that have won in Mauritius, and both of them have only won 1 race. That's Vision of Trust and Senzero. So Dark Force, he sort of hovers around this sort of rating of 25, 31, and when he's well on the day, he could quite easily win. So Dark Force, he's going to be my first choice. Shahil, I don't know if you agree with me. No, you don't.
No, I don't. Like I mentioned on Wednesdays, Zenzero catch my eye on training. He's been in top condition at the moment. He's never been out of the money at all this season. He's been such a consistent sort. So I'm going to give him a chance to win his 3rd race of the season with Manoel Nunes on board. Zenzero, my first choice to beat Dark Force, actually, because he won a brilliant race when he beat Sarah's Secret by 2.5 lengths. But I was pretty disappointed with him last time out. Maybe Daryl Holland didn't get on too well with him. Sohnil Rahman now gets the ride.
Okay, sorry to just, you know, I remember this race quite well. He was drawn 8. Yes. Daryl Holland tried to sort of force him early on. Yeah. He never had the speed, and he got caught hopelessly wide throughout. So I think it's a race we can ignore. But sorry to interrupt.
But the thing is, do you think he has to lead? Because look, when he won at the 990, he won from barrier 9.
Yeah, I don't think he has to, but I personally think he will. I think he will lead, and I think he'll lead easily. So, I mean, let's have a look what's in the race, really. Okay, you've got this new horse, Rock Spirit, that showed a lot of pace when he won in South Africa.
You've got Mysterious Omen, John, he's inside.
Yeah, but
I don't know if he's quick enough down.
I don't know if Mysterious Omen has got the speed in a 990. Let's have a look at his first run. When he never had this, he was slowing to stride in need of the run. Okay, it was his first run. He's obviously learned how to race, but I think Dark Force is the quickest horse in the race. I think he'll lead. Yeah, and then like you mentioned, we got to keep an eye on this Rock Spirit. He's a pure sprinter. He's done most of his racing over 1,000 meter, won on the 1,000 meter, and if I'm not mistaken, I saw that online yesterday. He made his debut into a Group 3. I don't know if that's possible or not, but he made his debut in a Group 3. So they must have expected good things from him back in South Africa. He didn't really perform that well, but he won on his last outing. So maybe, like you always say, a change is as good as a holiday. So let's see how he enjoys his holiday in Mauritius. Yeah, I must be honest. I'm not a fan of his South African form. I must be honest. Salt, I think, took about 100 runs before he won, before he broke his maiden. But there has been a lot of talk about this horse, and you got to obviously respect what people are talking about. And he's drawn 3. He's making his debut. He did win 1,000 meters back in South Africa. Probably couldn't meet a weaker field, with all due respect. When I say weaker, Zenzero, Dark Force, obviously the 2 horses, but then the rest of them aren't all that great. So I suppose Rock Spirit to put him in for a place, but yeah, for me, on paper, it looks like a 2-horse race. I'm going to side with Dark Force to beat Zenzero. You're going the other way around. Yes. Zenzero to beat Dark Force. All right, let's move over to race 3. It's the ladies' race, Shahil, and we did speak about this before we went on air. You're pretty sort of clued up when it comes to these foreign jockeys and ladies' races. A bit of a research there. Yeah. You follow them quite well. And okay, well, a person that's also very clued up with the ladies' races is obviously Raj Ramdin. He's got a great record as far as this race is concerned, and he's decided to put 2 horses in. He's got Spinner Coin and Cully's Champ. Now, Spinner Coin, he's a 10-year-old, but he just doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to run a bad race. This was Spinner Coin. Evergreen, he just keeps on plugging on. And if you go back to his last win, it was in a 0.20. It was a 1500. He then popped up to the 25. Wasn't disgraced for a third, a second, and then last time, not a bad effort, 5 lengths behind, who was that, Starsky. So he's got the form, this horse. And obviously, we all know that Rajram Din does prepare his horses for these sort of races. So Spinner Coin, he'll be my first choice. I like the stable companion, Cully's Champ. He's got some decent form, and you just have to go sort of further up to the end of last year and the beginning of the season. He's run some decent races behind some good horses. So Rajram Din, he seems to have a strong hand in the ladies' race.
He does. I actually prefer the stable companion, Cully's Champ. He's run close to the winners on several occasions. You know, last time they put him on the 990, and I just feel that they put him in that race just to lose that 1 point that he was needed to run in the 0.20. So like you were mentioning, target races, so maybe he's targeted Cully's Champ for this race.
Yep.
Lenka Rajanova is an experienced rider. She's 44 years old, and with a good barrier too, she should be right there. And Cully's Champ's only win in South Africa has been over a mile, so he gets onto the mile here. Spinner Coin, an old darker, I think he's the only horse in competition that you've ridden, the only horse left in competition.
Yeah.
So Barbara Gunnet, he's also a very good rider, one of the most experienced riders. She's done it all. She's won steeplechase, flat racing, cross country. She's done everything, Barbara Gunnet. Okay. And then for third, I like Cash's King. Cash's King, his last 2 starts wasn't so bad actually. He does have a good turn of foot if correctly ridden. Charlotte Pritchard won the race last year on Bonjour Baby, so she'll be looking for 2 in a row.
Okay, yeah, well, Shale's like an encyclopedia as far as foreign jockeys and lady jockeys are concerned. Thanks for that, Shale. Yeah, Cash is King. Go back a couple of runs. It was a great second to Cyber Special. Now, on that run, you'd think that he would win this race if he had to bring that race to the race course tomorrow. But we're going for a Rajram Din exacta.
Yes.
Spinner Coin, Cully's Champ, and we're going to chuck Cash's King as for the trifecta. But really looking forward to seeing the lady riders, and let's hope that everything goes well with that ladies race tomorrow. Right, 4th race, 1500 meter benchmark 36. Where we're going here. I've always been a big fan of Inauguration. You know that I've fancied him strongly in his last 3 starts. I don't exactly know what went wrong when he ran 5th to Jet Path, but he got it all together when he beat Artax, and then last time terrific when he beat Carlton Heights. Remember, he got a very bad bump at the top of the straight, and nice ride, Kirsty Ramsey. I mean, I like the way he got him rebalanced, never panicked. Got this horse home, and Carlton Heights he's not a horse to sneeze at. I mean, he's a decent horse. Inauguration's got the draw. I think Jenna Boddatier is going to suit this horse. He takes a nice sort of aggressive ride here. So I think Jenna is going to suit this horse, and he must have a big chance here. Obviously, the horse that I've been following, Dukes Domain, he's been a 2 to follow. I had a little bet last time at 16 to 1. He was drawn 10. Now he's run second to Vasco Street Tractor. Now that is a terrific run in a benchmark 51. He's come right back down to the 36, and I'm sort of like asking myself, am I sort of being silly here putting an Inauguration in front of Duke's Domain? But I just feel Inauguration's got a little bit more sort of room to improve. But Duke's Domain as well, he's only had a handful of runs here. And his last run was a very good eye-catching performance behind Vasco Street Tractor. So that's going to be my exacta. I'm not exactly what position yet. I'm going to put it Inauguration or Duke's Domain, or the other way, Duke's Domain, Inauguration. Maybe you can steer me in the right direction.
Well, you still have 24 hours to think about it. But I'm also not sure either. He's a great second, like I said, benchmark of 51.
And from a 10 draw as well. He jumped from a 10 draw.
And now he's drawn 2. Yeah, a repeat of that performance would largely be enough here to beat. He should be the horse to beat on that performance. But Inauguration, he'll be looking for the hat trick, and he does look like he can pull it off because he's got favorable circumstances in his favor. He's drawn 1, so he's going to be on the inside of Duke's Domain. He's trained on well during the week. Jean Bardier is getting along nicely with the Jean-Michel Henry stable. So a tough choice there. And then for third, probably Taranaki. Yeah. If there's a good pace in the race, we can forgive him the 1 bad run that he had last time. With a decent pace, he will finish off really strongly.
Yeah, I see he had an awkward jump last time, and he was wide quite early, and the rider was questioned and blah, blah, whatever. So there was a couple of excuses there. Taranaki, his form before that wasn't too bad, and you think that he's probably going to be the 3rd best here. But looks like Inauguration, Duke's Domain. and then Taranaki for 2 to complete the trifecta. So we're on the same page there. But you're just going the other way around. Yeah, maybe tomorrow you'll probably go into inauguration. I'll go into Duke's Domain. We'll swap it around. Okay, let's move over to race 5, 1850. It's a benchmark 46, and well, another horse. I've been following this horse forever. West Coast Warrior. Yes. What I do like about tomorrow is that Rakesh Bogoruti's got the ride again. His only win has been with Rakesh. I remember that race very, very well. Rakesh gave him a super ride. I think Rakesh gets on very, very well with this horse. Now, he's run second to Moonrise Sensation, third to Mind Blowing, third to Al Sheba. So, yes, he has got a poor draw, but he's a horse that comes from off the pace. Even I was very surprised when Pierre Strada managed to get him to sit up second. That was quite a good effort to get him to sit up second. But I think his best races are run from off the pace. And let's have a look here. We've got Texas Sky. He'll make it quite nice pace.
Potawatomi with the blinkers.
Yeah, Potawatomi, even Springman likes to be up there. So we're hoping that there's a decent pace, especially early on. West Coast Warrior can sort of pop in behind. And the Rameshwar Gajara stable got a very strong hand here. Obviously, the Grey Crusader. Last time, you can draw a line to that. I thought it was too soon for him after a very, very good win. When he beat Overdose. I mean, I gave him absolutely no chance at the 300. I didn't know where Daniel Dekaveo was going on that particular day. And I don't know, like I did say, this young jockey, I'm not knocking him or anything, but he was just getting slow away on all these horses. And I think that this horse, the Great Crusader, Jami Aliasan, probably could suit this horse. And I do think that the Great Crusader, the West Coast Warrior, the Gajara stable, or Rameshwar Gajara stable, have got a strong hand here.
Yeah, again, after Zen0 Dark Force inauguration, Duke's Domain, I'm going to go against you once more. I'm going to go with the Great Crusader. I think the 1650, I was telling you that last time when we were going to the races, I think the 1650 was a bit too short for him.
Yeah.
Very happy to see him back over 1850. You know, when they quicken up again, like Give Me a Stringer, when they quicken up at the 600, this horse just gets left out.
Yeah.
But on the 1850, he's going to be able to follow. And like you said, Jamia is probably going to suit him very well. I think the Great Crusader should be able to get the upper hand on his stable companion. Because he's going to be in front of him, if I remember, with that draw. So I'm going to go with the Great Crusader to beat stable companion West Coast Warrior. And then for third, probably a nice place bet would be Potawatomi. He's a horse that I've been following in South Africa. He's running against good horses. Hoodoo Magic and Twist of Fate, 2 good horses. I remember that day I had a bet on Hoodoo Magic and he just went to the front and stayed up right there. If he can do that tomorrow, overcome that barrier 8, Potawatomi could be tough not to peg back.
Okay, all right. Potawatomi is a little bit of a value bet as far as places are concerned. One was that I'm just waiting for the penny to drop is Sinatla, because he's got some terrific form back in South Africa. I think the 1850 is going to suit him purely on when you look at this horse, he just looks like a stayer. And I think that he's finally going to get all things going to in the right way. Remember, he was behind Moonrise Sensation as well, so he was a couple of lengths behind West Coast Warrior. Can't see him turning that around. But I just do believe that Sinatla one day is going to drop a bomb on us, and we're all going to be... yeah, exactly. So keep an eye on Sinatla. His form in South Africa is very, very good, and we're just waiting for this horse to come right. And I do think that the 1850 is going to suit him. In fact, no, his best run was behind Mutsi. But I don't know. When I look at him, he looks like a stayer. So that's probably going to be my third choice, and then we'll chuck in your Potawatomi for the quartet there. All right, terrific. 6th race, 1400 meters. It is a benchmark 56, and one of my favorite horses once again steps out. Virtue with those blinkers, and he absolutely trounced the field last time. I was so happy to see them fit blinkers on him, because I've always said he's a blinkers candidate. Yeah. He's a horse for me that would really improve with blinkers, and he proved it. And well, he beat Silken Prince by over 3 lengths, but remember, he did get a 6-point penalty. So he's 3 kilograms up in the weights compared to horses like Silken Prince and Lacaria as well, because if you go back one run to Mutsi, one of Virtue's back one run and Lacaria's last run, they met. They ran right on top of each other. Once again, Virtue is 3 kilograms off at the weights. But remember, he won by 3 lengths. And is 3 kilograms enough to turn a 3 kilogram, a 3-length beating? I personally think no. I'm going to stick with Virtue. I really like this horse. I think that once again, I like the fact Geno's on this horse. He'll get this horse out the gates. I don't believe that he has to lead Obviously, there's Lequeria in the race. There's a couple of quick ones here. I don't think Virtue has to lead. Have a look at the second to Mutsi twice. He wasn't in front. You know, I think that Virtue, if things don't go his way, can stick to plan B. He can sit up second. Not many horses can say they beat World Tag this year. Yes. So Virtue, I'm going to go with Virtue Shahil. I don't know. Tell me if I'm. Do you think I'm on the right path here?
Again, we're not on the same page. I'm actually going to go with Silken Prince because of that weight turnaround and the draw. Because I'm just scared that the number 2 and number 3, Lequeria and Virtue, are going to cut each other's throat up front.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt there's going to be a lot of pace in this race, and because there's unbelievable lad in there as well. But obviously he's a companion to Lequeria. So I'm sure they'll work out between the two of them who's going to go. But I do agree with you. The pace is on.
And which will suit Silken Prince with that featherweight, and he probably will be in the box seat. Yes, it's a step up in class from a 51 to a 56, but he's just a progressive sort. Runs third again to Vasco Street Tractor last time, which is a very good sort. Yep. I'm just going to go with number 9, Silken Prince, to beat Virtue. And then for third Lequeria, he's been pretty consistent, and he's been given a little break, which should do him well. Yeah. Probably could have a chance, but it's a tough race on paper.
Yeah. Lequeria is quick though. He's very, very quick. I saw him jump out the pens last time with Jamie Elias, and he absolutely flew to the front, and he's quick. So I think this race probably a lot to do with tactics. Yep. I would love to see sort of Jenna, if he jumps out, makes up a mind in 3 seconds. Listen, they're too quick. I'm gonna sit, well, not sit behind, but
sit behind the leader.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think that Virtue has to go in front, and I just think that those blinkers have turned this horse into the horse that I originally thought he is. Right, that's the well, it's the MTC. It's the 175th anniversary cup. It's a 1850. And well, with the absence of a couple of horses that we have seen running in these sort of races, you have to think that Opera Royale is going to be quite a tough nut to crack. He's run behind Al Sheba last time. Perplexing ran second. So there's no Perplexing, there's no Al Sheba. Al Sheba's running in the Gold Cup on the following day. Opera Royale must be a big runner here. I think he's a banker until I studied my form last night. I'm just a little bit worried. If you go back to the run on the 3rd of August when Nebula ran second to Opera Royale. Now remember, Pierce Stradom, that's the day he got sacked, right? Yes. And they thought that this was they couldn't digest the ride of Nebula. Now, that particular day, he carried 59.5, did Nebula, and Opera Royale carried 53. This time they're carrying level weight. So that's a 6.5 kilogram swing for a half a length beating. So the only thing is Nebula obviously hasn't really sort of, I don't think he's really enjoyed island life as much as probably Opera Royale. But from making Opera Royale my banker of the day, I'm a little bit worried after seeing that race. Yeah.
It was the Golden Trophy actually, and that's exactly what I've written here. A repeat of that performance puts him right into the picture here. But personally, I don't see him turning the tables on Opera Royale. He's been such a revelation this season. He's already won 5 races. He's been in terrific order at track work also. I think you mentioned that on Wednesday on Jour de Gallo.
Yeah, so he looked absolutely terrific on Tuesday morning. I have to say, Shem Hirchon really turns his horses out well. And I have to say, Opera Royale looked very good.
Yeah, so in the absence of Perplexing and Al Sheba, I'll also make him my banker, and he'll be very tough to beat from that barrier position number 1.
Okay, to complete the lineup, the trifecta, I suppose any one of these 3 horses could run in a could run in a place.
Yeah, but slight preference for Down Raid, ran a massive race to Perplexing last time out. Watching that race again, and at the home turn, I think it was last or somewhere there, and he had no right to finish second, but something happened, and he flew home to finish second. Such a horse with a big heart, so with 55.5 kgs, could complete the trifecta.
Yeah. Personally, do you think Ideal Secret stays at 1850?
Probably will, because he's run 6 to Overshadow, but I just prefer number 3 Downright.
Yeah, I don't think Ideal Secret stays. I mean, even before this race, I don't think he stayed.
By Ideal World.
Yeah, I think I'm probably on form. Downright is probably the next best. So Opera Royale, Nebula is your second choice?
Yes.
And then we go Dawn Raid for the trifecta. Right. 8th race, this would normally be the lucky last, but we've got 9 races, and once again, one of my horses that I do like on the island, Till Dawn. It took him a while to win a race. I was surprised it took him that long, and he just managed to get up to beat Aspara, but I like the way he followed that up with that run to Patrol Officer. Yeah. patrol officer, as we all know, stepped out, won again under the super sub Nishaltia, and nice to see patrol officer run straight with Nishaltia. But Till Dawn, he's got some decent form. This obviously he did win in the 36. He's back down to the 31. Yes, he has got 61.5 kilos, but obviously he can carry this sort of weight. Has he carried? No, he hasn't carried that much weight here yet. But to win in a higher benchmark and then come down, you have to think that horse must have a chance. Till Dawn, excuse me. And then Carlton Heights, we spoke about him early on. He's a horse that ran second to inauguration. I think we can completely ignore that last run. It looked like a ping pong ball going through a machine last time, Carlton Heights. He got absolutely smashed out of the race. So you can forgive him that run. His form before that is pretty decent. So Carlton Heights got the draw as well. He'll be second. And then Aspara, if you go back to the run on the 7th of September, he ran second to Till Dawn. Obviously, he's a little bit better off in the weights. What is he? I think he's 2.5 kilograms better off at the weights as well. The stable's in top form, Gilbert Reset and Nishaltia, and then obviously Naresh Juglal as well. They're doing quite well. So the stable's in form. So I'm going 1, 2, 3 as my trifecta.
I'm also going to go with Till Dawn. I think the benchmark 31 just suits him. He could be too strong here, even with a 61.5 kgs. He's won in this class in distance before, so it should be very tough to beat. Carlton Heights has been given a little bit of a break for 1 month. Last time he never really saw daylight from barrier 2. He should be right there. And then for third, Silver Heritage. He won a nice race last time, even if that wasn't a 0.25, but he's just a horse that's on the up, owned by a very good friend of mine. So I'll be happy if he can run into the third place.
Okay, did your friend tell you anything? Give us a tip? Or?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, well, let us know. All right, the 9th race is off at 5 o'clock in the evening, and well, probably not the most exciting race to end the card off with, but if you have got a bit of money in your pocket, you can maybe have a little bet here in the last race. So Netflix, it's 26 races now and he hasn't won. Could this be his day, Netflix? Probably, from what I've gone and back and had a look, this is probably the weakest that he's ever going to take on. And I know there's a big saying in Mauritius, it's now or never, or today or never, and I think that's the case with Netflix. If he doesn't win this race, I doubt he's ever going to win a race here in Mauritius. He's run 2 very decent races. Probably the penultimate race, Consul of War, is a much better second than last time to All Aboard. All Aboard, I suppose All Aboard didn't have a great draw at his next start when he ran a 4th, I think. Yeah, it wasn't a great sort of, you'd like to have seen him win and then obviously get a lot more confidence with Netflix. But I think Derek David, the stable's doing well. He would like to walk off the track with a winner. Possibly Netflix, he's a reluctant first choice. I think I'm probably going to stay out of this race and save some money for Sunday. Shahil, what do you like in the ninth?
Volatile Energy. Volatile Energy, just look at his form. He's running against Till Dawn, Taranaki, Consul of War, Varside. So that's pretty good form to come into.
That's what I've written down. He's probably got the best form in this race. As I have a look at his form, like you say, Till Dawn, Taranaki, Consul of War, Tower of Wisdom. He's definitely got the best form. He's got the 1 draw, so he's probably...
He's even got Nishaltia, who's riding on top of his game at the moment. So a reluctant first choice for you on Netflix, and a strong first choice probably for me on Volatile Energy. I really like the horse. And then for second, probably Man from Seattle. He's been finishing off his races really well. Jean About his aggressive style probably will suit him again tomorrow if he jumps well. So the trifecta probably Volatile Energy, Man from Seattle, and Netflix.
Yeah, 2, 3, 5 the trifecta. I think if you play a little, what does it cost to box 3 horses? I don't know, it's about 60 rupees. So that's probably a little bet in the last there. If you have got 60 rupees in your pocket, go with the trifecta 2, 3, 5. To run in the first 3 there. All right, well that is Saturday done and dusted. Yeah. Before we do crossover, what you are you banking Opera?
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to bank him. I'm a little bit worried about that Nebula run, but I just don't like the way that sort of Nebula has been racing lately. So I think I will stick with Opera. We have to bank her somewhere.
We have to bank her somewhere.
And Saturday doesn't look like obviously Sunday it looks a little bit easier for a banker, but I think we'll go Opera Royal. And then your value bet, you have one?
I hope Volatile Energy is a bit of a value bet. I haven't been able to check the odds. We went to bed pretty late last night, so I hope Volatile Energy has had some nice odds.
Okay, I'm quite sort of surprised that They've got Gimme Swinger price up at 600, 550, somewhere around there. He was my value bet last week. I'm going to have another go. I'm going to go give me a swinger for my value bet once again. All right, well, that's a wrap for Saturday. We will be putting Sunday on a little bit later. And if you have a good day Saturday, watch our Sunday show, because I reckon Sunday looks a little bit easier as far as making some money is concerned. So hopefully you have a good Saturday. We will be making money on Sunday. Thanks. Goodbye.